If you're a complete beginner and you want to start day trading in 2026, I'm going to show you exactly how to start, and I'm going to be straight with you the whole way. Most beginners lose money. Day trading is a skill, it's not a lottery ticket. And starting the right way, it looks slower and more boring than the fantasy you've been sold. This isn't me telling you to trade or what to do with your money. It's education. But if you actually want the foundation instead of the hype, I'll give you the exact order to start in. Let's begin with what day trading actually is, because the fantasy is the first thing that costs people money. Day trading is buying and selling a financial asset, a stock, an option, a futures contract within the same trading session. You're in and out the same day. You're trying to capture short-term price moves. That's what it is. Now here's what it's not. It's not a fast track to quitting your job next month. It's not a slot machine where the right strategy guarantees winning. And it's not what you see in the screenshots of green days floating around social media. Most beginners lose money. That's not a scare tactic. That's a fact worth respecting before you risk $1. There's something specific to 2026 I want you to understand before we go further. The rise of zero-day options contracts that expire the same day you buy them has changed the landscape. They're everywhere now. They move fast. They can make or destroy an account in an afternoon. Here's what I want to be honest about when it comes to the landscape right now. When I started, the market moved differently. You had more time to think. A setup could take an hour to develop, and you had room to breathe. Today, the speed of everything has changed, and zero-day options have a lot to do with that. Zero-day options are contracts that expire the same day you buy them. They didn't really exist as a retail product when I started. Now, they dominate the options flow on the biggest names and on every index every single day. They can move fast and violently, and beginners who touch them before they understand price action and risk management are essentially playing with something that can destroy an account in a single afternoon. This doesn't mean it's harder to make money in 2026. It means the cost of being unprepared is higher, which is exactly why everything I'm teaching you today matters more, not less. The foundation doesn't change. The speed of the game changes. Build the foundation first, and the speed becomes an advantage instead of a threat. The reframe I want you to carry through this whole video is this: starting the right way looks slower and more boring than the fantasy. That's not a bug. That's the point. The foundation is what's going to keep you in this game long enough to actually get good. So let's build it. And it starts in your head, not on a platform. Here's the trap every trader falls into. They think the job is to predict the next move and be right. So they chase the setup that looks most obvious, size up because they're convinced, and then one trade wipes out 2 weeks of gains. Prediction is not the job. Process is the job. No one knows what the next candle is going to do. Not me, not the guy with 1 million followers, and not the algorithm. What separates the traders who last from the ones who blow up isn't how often they're right. It's how small they lose when they're wrong. So here's the mindset shift I want you to install right now before you look at a single chart. Before you ever ask how much you can make on a trade, ask how much you're willing to lose on it. That's it. That's the whole shift. Protect the account first. Returns are a byproduct of not blowing up. Early on, I genuinely believed the job was to be right, that the edge was in calling the move correctly. So I'd size up when I was confident, chase something when I was sure, and then when it went wrong, I'd wonder what I missed. The belief cost me a lot of money before I understood what was actually happening. The shift that changed everything was accepting that being right is not the job. Executing a process is the job. The moment I started measuring myself on whether I followed my rules, not whether the trade made money, everything changed. I stopped chasing. I stopped sizing up because I was confident. I started asking what happens if this goes against me before I ever asked what happens if it goes my way. That question is the whole shift. If I could go back and hand myself one thing on day one, it would be that. With that locked in, now we actually set you up. Let me keep this simple because the internet makes this part way more complicated than it needs to be. A brokerage account and a charting platform. That's the foundation. You need somewhere to execute trades and somewhere to read the chart. Do your own research on platforms. What matters is that you see price clearly and execute quickly. I'm not here to push any specific one. A clean chart, not 12 indicators, not 3 moving averages, and 2 oscillators. Price, your levels, and that's it. Complexity is not an edge. I've been doing this a long time, and my charts are cleaner now than they were when I started. Capital you can genuinely afford to lose, and I mean genuinely, not rent money with some extra on top, not your emergency fund. Only money that losing wouldn't change your life. If losing it would affect how you sleep, it's too much. I started with $6,000. That was every dollar I had saved from working jobs while I was in school. I'm not telling you that you need a specific specific number. I'm not a financial advisor, and what's right for your situation is yours to decide. What I tell you is the only filter that matters. If losing the entire amount you put in would genuinely affect your life, your rent, your ability to pay bills, your financial stability, then it's too much. This isn't a retirement account, it's a learning account. Treat it like one. A simulator. This is the most important thing on the list. A paper trading or replay tool where you can practice without real money on the line. I'm going to come back to this in part 7 because most beginners skip it and it costs them everything. That's the setup. Now, the one skill that matters more than everything else combined. When you first look at a chart as a beginner, it looks like complete noise. Lines going up, lines going down, no pattern, no logic. That feeling is normal and it doesn't last once you know what you're actually looking at. Here's what price is doing underneath all that noise. It's reacting to levels. Support is a price area where buyers have shown up before, where demand came in and stopped the move lower. Resistance is a price area where sellers have shown up before, where supply came in and stopped the move higher. The market has memory. It doesn't forget where those battles were fought. Your job as a beginner is not to predict. It's to identify where the market has already shown it cares and watch what happens when price gets back there. Context comes on top of that. The same level behaves differently depending on what the bigger picture looks like. Zoom out before you zoom in, always. Get the weekly and daily picture before you make a decision on the intraday. Why this skill first? Because every other thing I'm going to teach you, entries, exits, risk management, is built on top of knowing where the levels are. An indicator on top of a chart you can't read is noise on top of noise. Master reading levels and context first. Everything else gets sharper from there. Here's exactly how I teach a complete beginner to start. Pull up the weekly chart of whatever you want to learn on. No indicators, just price. Scroll back and look for places where price touched a level, reversed, and then came back to test the same level again later. That repeat behavior is what makes something a level. 1 touch is interesting, 2 touches makes it real, 3 or more and you have something significant. Draw a single horizontal line at the price where the majority of those touches clustered, not a wide zone, 1 clean line. Then pull up the daily chart and do the same thing. Now you have your map. Weekly levels give you the bigger picture context. Daily levels give you the immediate trade setup. Zoom out first, then zoom in, always in that order. And here's the most important thing. Don't try to draw 20 levels. Find the 2 or 3 that are most obvious. If you have to talk yourself into whether something is a level, it's probably not one. The real ones are obvious. Once you can read a level, you need to know how to actually build a trade around one. Every trade I take has the same 4 pieces, every single one. And if one of those 4 is missing before I enter, I don't enter. 1, the thesis. 1 sentence, that's it. The level, the context, and what would prove me wrong. If I can't explain the trade in 1 sentence, I don't have a trade. I have a hope. 2, the invalidation. The price that proves my idea wrong. I decide this before I enter, not after. Not while I'm in the trade watching it go against me. Before. That invalidation point is my exit if the trade doesn't work. No negotiation with myself once it's set. 3, the size. My risk rule and my invalidation point together decide how big the trade can be, not my confidence, not how good the setup looks. The math decides. I'll explain exactly how in the next part. 4, the exit. Where am I taking this trade off? The next significant level above, if I'm long, is my first target. I know it before I enter. The chart gave me the answer when I drew my levels. The whole plan is built before the trade is on. If you're figuring out your exit after you're in, you're already behind. Here's what the 1-sentence thesis actually sounds like in the practice. Something like, the stock is pulling back to a weekly support level that has held multiple times before, and if it shows me a daily close back above that level, I'm entering long with the stop below the support and a target at the next resistance above. That's it. Level, what has to happen to get in, where I'm wrong, where I'm going, everything that matters in 1 sentence. If you can't say it cleanly before you put on the trade, you're not ready to put it on. All of that depends on one rule that keeps beginners in the game long enough to actually get good at this. Real quick, this is the exact moment where most beginners try to figure out all this out completely alone. Watching videos, reading forums, guessing whether they're even doing it right. That's a hard and expensive way to learn. Now the part that actually keeps beginners alive, skip it. I'm going to tell you the thing that determines whether a beginner is still trading in 6 months or gone. It's not the strategy, it's not the platform, it's how they manage risk. Here's the trap. You feel really good about a trade, you've done the work, the setup looks clean, you're confident, so you go bigger than usual, and then it doesn't work. And that one trade undoes weeks of discipline. Confidence is not the variable that decides your size. Your risk rule is. Every trade, no exceptions. Here's how it works. You decide in advance, before you even look at a setup, the maximum amount you're willing to lose on any single trade. That number stays fixed whether you feel certain or uncertain, whether you're in a hot hot streak or coming off a loss. Your position size on any given trade is then determined by where your invalidation point is. The math figures out how many shares or contracts you can have while keeping your loss at or below that fixed amount. That's it. That's the whole system. And here's the honest part nobody wants to say. No risk rule eliminates losing trades. Beginners especially are going to have losing stretches. What the risk rule does is make sure a normal losing streak doesn't end your account. It keeps you in the game long enough to get better. I size for zero. That is my personal framework, and it's not advice for your situation. What that means is before I enter my trade, I know exactly what the worst case is, and I make sure I can absorb it without making an emotional decision. The size I put on is determined by my maximum loss I'm willing to take and my invalidation level, not by how confident I feel. Here's a practical way to think about this when you're starting out. Whatever size you are considering putting on, ask yourself honestly, this trade goes against me immediately. Can I sit with it calmly and make a rational decision? Or does the dollar amount at risk make me check the screen every 30 seconds? If it's the second one, you're too big. Cut the size until the honest answer is yes, I can manage this clearly. That's the whole rule. Your behavior under pressure tells you exactly whether your size is right. And here's how you build all of this without paying for it in real losses first. This is the step that separates people who last from people who blow up the first 60 days. Most beginners go straight to real money because they think they'll learn faster with real stakes. What actually happens is they pay expensive tuition on trades they weren't ready to take. I've watched it happen more times than I can count. Here's the move instead. Get a paper trading account or a replay tool. Most platforms have them. Practice reading your levels, practice building the trade the right way, the thesis, invalidation, the size, and the exit. Then practice taking the loss at your invalidation point without second guessing it. Do that hundreds of times with zero financial risk. You're not ready to go live when you're profitable on sim. You're ready to go when you run the process calmly, consistently, without cutting corners. Profitability on sim doesn't guarantee profitability live. Real money changes the psychology, but being sloppy on sim and going live anyway guarantees you'll learn the hard and expensive way. My standard is this: minimum 60 to 90 days of consistent sim trading, not profitable sim trading, consistent sim trading. That distinction matters. You're not looking for green P&L on the simulator. You're looking for calm, repeatable execution on the same process over and over before real money is ever on the line. What does ready actually look like? You know your levels before the open. You know your thesis before you enter. You know your invalidation before you click. You take the loss at your stop without hesitation, and you don't chase the next setup out of frustration. When you can do all that consistently on the sim for weeks in a row without cutting corners, that is when you're ready to go live. And when you do, you go small, smaller than you think you should. Build the confidence through consistency first. The size can come later. Even with all of this, one thing blows up more beginner accounts than bad setups ever will, because you have. Let me name these directly so you can see them coming. Revenge trading. You take a loss, it stings, so you immediately jump back in bigger, trying to get it back. And what was one manageable loss turns into real drawdown. I've seen this destroy accounts that were otherwise doing fine. The loss doesn't change anything about the next setup. The next setup doesn't care what just happened to your P&L. Chasing. The stock is running without you. You didn't have it on your list. You didn't plan the entry, but it's moving and you don't want to miss it. So you buy it extended at the top of the move with no level, no context, no defined stop. That's not trading. That's FOMO with a brokerage account. Over trading. Forcing trades because you're bored, because you feel like you should be doing something, because the morning's been slow and you need to make something happen. Cash is a position. Sitting on your hands and waiting is a legitimate trading decision. The best traders I know are comfortable doing nothing until the right setup shows up. Emotional sizing. Going heavy on a trade because you're confident, because it looks perfect, because this is definitely the one. The trades you're most certain about are sometimes the ones that do the most damage when they don't work, specifically because you've sized up. Most blown beginner accounts aren't a strategy problem. They're a discipline problem. Build rules that don't depend on you being calm in the moment, because in the moment you won't always be. The mistake that cost me the most early on was chasing. Every single time I'd see something running without me and I couldn't help myself. I didn't have it on my list. I had no plan for it. I had no level identified, no stop, no thesis, but it was moving and I didn't want to miss it. So I'd buy it right at the top of the move and then watch it reverse immediately over and over. The rule I built to stop it was simple, and I still use it today. If it wasn't on my list before the open, it doesn't exist to me during the session. Non-negotiable. If I didn't identify the level in advance, if I didn't have the thesis built before the day started, I don't touch it, no matter what it does. That one rule eliminated the single biggest drain in my account in the early years. You cannot chase something on your list if if your rule is that the list is the only thing that exists. Which brings us to what starting actually looks like practically in your first 90 days. Let me tell you what starting day trading the right way actually looks like. Not the fantasy version, the real version. It looks like weeks of screen time before you put real money on the line. It looks like sim reps, hundreds of them, practicing the checklist until it's automatic. It looks like mastering one setup, before you try to trade 10 different ones. It looks like going live small, smaller than you want to, building confidence through consistency, not through size. It looks like keeping a journal, writing down what you did, why you did it, and what actually happened, not to beat yourself up, to learn. And it looks like expecting losing trades, not as failures, as part of the process. The version that looks slow is the version that survives. The people still trading a year from now are the ones who started exactly like this. I want to be clear one more time before we close. This is how I'd start if I were a complete beginner today, shared as education, not advice for your specific situation. Day trading carries a real risk of loss. Most beginners lose money, especially early. What I just gave you is an honest order to start in. It's not a promise of what's on the other side of it. Knowing the steps is the easy part. Running them consistently without drifting back into the hype and the shortcuts is the hard part. And that's a lot easier when you're not doing it alone. So that's how I'd start day trading as a beginner in 2026. The honest version in order. Slower and more boring than the fantasy. And that's exactly why it's the version that lasts. Most people skip the foundation and blow up. Don't be most people. If you want to go deeper on the one skill everything here is built on, support, resistance, and reading levels, click into the video right here. And if you'd rather learn this process alongside people instead of figuring out alone, the Elite Options community is in the description. Daily market analysis, live sessions, the reasoning out loud while you're building the skill. All education, no signals, no guarantees. I'll see you there.